Hello. Welcome to our movie club. Today we are returning back to Star Trek original series, and I forgot what kind of number we have today. Okay, it's Vasan's World
12.
episode 5, right?
Season 2.
Season 2, episode 5.
I forgot what episode. Yeah, 5.
Yeah,
sounds
but we have the name, right? The trouble with tribbles.
tribbles. Yeah.
I love them.
Okay, I prepared a few questions here. Let me increase the font. Okay, but it's actually not me. It's kind of artificial intelligence. I'm still playing with some kind of models. So I ask them, and I ask them deliberately for English learners. Could you please make a question that would benefit, if we discuss it? Yeah, so let's try. Vova, could you help us with number 1?
Yes. What is the purpose of Kirk's visit to Deep Space Station K7?
Remember? So Deep Space Station K7. What they did to make Kirk visit them?
I don't remember.
Mayday. What does it mean? We are in danger, right? It was some kind of code, COS, save our soul, right? So they send a signal that we are in danger. So you should arrive and save us. It's how much I remember.
Yeah.
So, but when he arrived, was there any danger?
No.
So why they made the signal then?
To
Oh, you did not do your homework, right? Leila, could you help, please, Vova?
I think it's a kind of emergency call, and as soon as Kirk was informed, they just wanted to have a connection, and they went there, but it was nothing important happened. And he asked why.
Yeah. Do you know the answer? Why?
Yeah, there is this guy, a head of what, I don't remember, an important person at the top of the Federation or something like that. He said, we have got some kind of grain, and you have to help this spacecraft to carry this to their station because of other kinky the Klingons are dangerous in case they can attack.
But there is no attack yet, right? They just want
Yeah.
extra security, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Vasant, what is special about this grain? Question number 2.
Grain? I don't know.
I remember they mentioned that it's kind of original grain from the earth. Is it correct?
Yes, but they, yeah.
Go ahead.
Actually, because they had some problem with the grain and they wanted to inspect the grain, so they brought it to the field. Kirk was asked to inspect the element.
Let me give you some background here that you missed probably. At the beginning of the movie, the beginning of the episode, it mentioned the Organians. No, you don't know the Organians. The Organians were in another episode. The Organians are another advanced species, and they are very, very, very advanced. And in another episode, the humans were chasing another species called the Gorn. and they both went into Organian space, and suddenly both of their ships just froze, and they had no control of anything. And this voice said, "You have entered Organian space. No violence is allowed here." And Yvonne probably remembers this episode. That's when you had Kirk and the Gorn fight each other on a lonely planet.
Yeah.
The Organians did that. So this planet is in Organian space. So the humans can't come in and take it, and the Klingons can't come in and take it, because the Organians will stop them immediately. So the Organians told them, whoever can help this planet the most, they will be allowed to stay on the planet. So the Klingons and the humans are competing with each other to prove who can help this planet the most, because that's the rules that the Organian species is making them play by. So the only way the humans can help them initially is by giving them food. And this quadro, trita, kale grain is the only grain that humans have that will grow on this planet. So this is the only way the humans can compete with the Klingons, is they've got to give the planet food to eat. The Klingons will probably offer them weapons or, something more evil. But food is what the Federation is trying to offer. So this grain is very important for the humans to win this competition with the Klingons over who gets to stay on this planet, which is in a strategic location. So you can spy on the other side.
Actually, Klingons are not real human beings, right?
No, they're supposed to be an alien species.
Okay, thank you.
To save money, when they were making this TV series a long time ago, they had to make them look human-like to save money.
Okay.
We didn't have computers and special effects back in the 1960s. So usually what Star Trek would do is they would make your nose look different, and that meant you were an alien. They would make your forehead look different, and that meant you were an alien. But in this particular episode, yeah, they look just like humans.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I think I heard once in this episode that Klingons and humans, they kind of from the one planet initially. Is it correct?
No,
No.
they're totally different. No.
Okay. So I misunderstood. Sometimes it's not easy to understand without subtitles, so I got it wrong. Yeah.
That's my fault. Yeah, I thought I had subtitles.
No, it's a good exercise for all of us. Okay, so this grain is very important because it gives a lot of opportunity for humans, and that's why this, I don't know what is his name, some special deputy, special minister or something, he got extra power, right? I remember that Starfleet command called Kirk, and they said, now you belong to this guy. Whatever he say, you do, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, what about number 3? Gerard, please help us.
How would you describe the tribbles, the creatures introduced in this episode? Like a furry? Yes, like a hamster with a lot of fur. Oh no, a hedgehog. They look like a hedgehog, but with a soft hair.
Yeah.
I would say they are like rabbits or something. Rabbits, but very small one, right?
Very small, but very reproductive.
Yeah.
I saw the problem.
Would you like to have one at home?
No, that's a plague. Those animals are a plague.
A virus.
Yeah, like a virus. Because at the beginning, when I heard that the wheat and those animals, I thought, okay, the animals are going to eat all the wheat, and then the Klingons are going to win because there's no going to be any wheat.
Well, it seems like I got some, right? Got some of tribbles in my house.
I mean, I don't want, because they are I mean, they multiply a lot, you know. One can have how many? I don't remember in an instant. So one triple, maybe soft, you know, and their voice makes you optimistic. Now I need one. No, 10.
Yeah, I remember they said that it's a new generation every 12 hours or something. And also I remember they say that they born pregnant already or something.
Yeah.
That was kind of a joke, but almost true. Yeah.
But there are real animals who are born pregnant, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Vova told me that some kind of what is the name? It's some kind of insect or something that they live on the grass. The new generation already born pregnant. So it's always
Wow.
like always a chain, you know, of generations.
Wow.
Okay, but why is there a problem? Well, so
I mean, the thing is that they are not useful for, you know, for the environment, for people. They only multiply. And you can see them everywhere in an instant. And they only eat food. I mean, they're like consumers. Do nothing.
do you think we have something similar in real life in our nature on the earth?
I just can't talk.
Yeah.
Sex.
Of course, yes, but I can't talk.
But I remember about lemmings. Do you know lemmings? Some kind of
No. You know what I love a lot? Panda.
yeah, but
Panda
pandas
bears.
they breed very slow, right? Very slowly.
I
but-
wonder where they live. Cool, cold climates? I don't know.
Pandas?
Yep,
Yeah.
China, only in China.
really.
Only
And
in
the-
China.
And they eat bamboo.
And you know it's interesting, but Chinese people try to use panda bears as a kind of as a political I don't know what
Symbol.
a political symbol. Yeah. So they,
Really? I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
yeah, let me give you example. So when Russia is in a good relationship with China gives us panda from Moscow Zoo. When we are in a bad relations, they get them back. So, and I heard the same about US Zoo or something. So they had some pandas, but then China kind of what's the word for this? Retracted them
Yes.
to
Probably repatriated them.
repatriate. So Chinese people they never sell pandas. They just give it to you for like until you good guy.
Yes.
Nice. Okay, let's go to number 5. Alessandro, could you help us?
Who brings the tribbles to the station? Why
Yeah.
does he cause trouble? Yeah, he's a seller, I think. He
Yeah.
tries to sell tribble to the bartender. But initially, he offered him 10 for 10 money. I don't know the money. I think 10 pieces or something.
Yeah, I remember it was
Uh,
credits, 10 credits.
10 credits. Yeah, 10 credits. And but the bartender didn't think it worth it, so he asked it for 1 credit. Okay, but they started to bargain, and they finally agreed for the 6. But because that bargain was caused by the lady from the Star Trek crew. I forgot her name.
Uhura.
Mhm.
Uhura. Uhura was impressed by that creature. She loved it. She wanted to pamper that creature. So by seeing that, the bartender understood the demand for the creature. So he decided to buy it, whatever cost. the seller stayed.
It was a
But
fun.
in the meantime, it ate the grain, quadro, trita, kale.
Yeah, it was a funny dialogue between these sellers, right? So they tried to negotiate and then tried to make the prices, right? And then he said, "Why you give this tribble for free? So you're going to ruin the market." And another said, it's just an advertisement or something like this. So
Yeah, free advertising.
advertisement, yeah. Okay, what about number 6? Gerard, do you remember how they react around the Klingons?
Yes, they like make a strange noise. They don't like them. It looks like maybe because they are evil. I don't know.
Yeah, hard to say why they react this, but how it was helpful in the series, in this episode.
Okay, to discover a traitor.
Yeah.
Infiltrated Klingon.
Yeah, exactly. So what he did?
Okay, another thing. The tribbles ate all the wheat, this recycled wheat, and then they discovered, thanks to that the wheat was poison. So initially I thought the trick was to bring these tribbles to eat all the wheat, so the Earth people couldn't, give the wheat to the planet. But then they poisoned the wheat, and the tribbles wasn't good for them.
So so by luck, the tribbles revealed the poison plot. Otherwise, a lot of people on that planet would have died, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So there was what's the word for this? Undercover agent, right? So Klingon guy, he was undercover. He was a advisor of this. I don't know what's his name.
Captain
Agricultural minister. Yeah.
Yeah.
What I'm thinking also, the Klingons feel irritated when a tribble came close to them. So remember?
Yeah, but I think it's just because this sound, because they screamed or yelled this tribble.
Yeah.
But we discovered before that the Klingons didn't like these tribbles. The beginning, I don't want this. They said that we're a plague, but actually they were right. They are a plague.
Okay, so I don't know what to discuss this more. So what was the resolution? How they got rid of these tribbles?
They sent them all
Mhm.
to Klingon's ship.
How?
Yes, I love it.
How?
In the ship, I guess.
Yeah, they had this device, what was the name? Teleporter or something. Yeah? Why Klingons did not send them back using the same device?
I don't know.
Yeah, hard question.
No, I think because they were about to do hyperspace.
Okay, so it was a lack of time, right? So they just got them.
Just in the moment, and then.
Yeah, I guess, and I'm not sure about this, but the moment that the Klingons were about to go into hyperspace, I guess their shields have to go down. So that let them beam or teleport all the tribbles onto the ship. And then when it took off, it was gone. And now it's got all these tribbles in the transporter room. Yeah.
Well, what do you think? What Klingons will do with these tribbles?
Target practice.
Yeah, I think they will just kill them, right? Because tribbles are harmless, so they know there's no danger.
Or send them to the space.
Teleport them into space. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So
what
probably,
Kirk thought they did that. You didn't teleport them into space. Oh no, Captain, we'd never do that. Where'd you put him? Well,
I like his face.
uh, it was his idea. No, it was his idea. Well, really, he pushed the button. You know, nobody wanted to take credit for it.
But the end of the tribbles will be the same.
Yeah.
Okay, I choose this episode to watch because I just Googled, I Googled, so what are the most popular episodes of Star Trek? What are the favorite of the fans? And by some rating, this was on the first, this was on the second place. The first one was about the mirror. We watched it already. So
Yeah.
Guard of Eternity or something like this was another one. So I don't know, Leila. I wonder why this one is so popular.
I mean, if you ask me as a lady, I can say this attracts my attention because it is a light-hearted kind of comedy. And also, I like fiction, science fiction. Yes. And also, teacher Lee, if I'm wrong, tell me. This shows some things about human beings, characters. For example, Lieutenant Uhura, she just jumped on the tribble because we ladies we like small furry animals a lot. We love pets. So this is a kind of thing. I thought the salesman is clever because he just gives her as a present because he knows that these triples were going to be multiplied. So I don't know. I love the scene, Ivan, when the three of them with the Klingons sitting where Scott and the others were drinking something. What was the name of the young man? Bar fight teacher, yeah.
Chekhov was it?
Yeah, Chekhov was the young.
yes.
The Russian was Chekhov, Pavel Chekhov.
I like his reactions.
And Scotty was the engineer.
Yes.
And then Kirk, there was a little humor there. Kirk said, "Why did you do it, Scotty? He insulted us, sir." Well, who did he insult? Well, first he insulted you, sir. And that's when you hit him? Oh, no, sir. I'm more mature than that. When did you hit him? He insulted the Enterprise, my ship, sir. That's when I hit him. Kirk was a little disappointed by that.
Yeah. Actually, I have a question for all of you, if you understand this, because I didn't. So we know that these tribbles, they are kind of produce a lot, right? They breed a lot. So how it's possible that Seller did not have his ship full of tribbles?
Yes.
It may be he didn't feed it. If you don't feed it, it doesn't multiply. You have to feed it. So maybe he just never fed it. So he never knew that it multiplied a lot. I don't know. Yeah.
And besides, what's the business with tribbles? Because once I start to reproduce, nobody's going to buy them. You can give a tribble.
It's like free energy, right? So you sell it once, the business is over, right?
I can only guess on their home planet, they're just prey for other animals to eat. I don't know.
Yeah, they told that in the episode.
Did they? Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Natural prey. Unlimited source of food as long as you don't eat them all.
and I think that Leila is right. So probably this episode is popular just because these tribbles, they are cute, right?
It's kid friendly. Remember this was back in the 1960s. There was no profanity. There was no blood. It was very family friendly. So this was just a family friendly episode that kids probably got a kick out of.
Actually, it is a 50-minute series, and I watched it without thinking anything.
Yeah. Yeah, they were 1 hour episodes with commercials. So you take out the commercials, about 50 minutes. Today, probably if you take out commercials, probably about 40 to 45 minutes.
Yeah. Mm.
More commercials today than back then.
Mhm. Okay, if we have no more questions, and I made a picture, about of these tribbles. If you like.
Do you have them in your desk?
Yeah. Yeah, really, a lot of them, So with Vova's helps, they invite me from everywhere. So everywhere I have tribbles.
I'm sure you can order them online. Anything that's in Star Trek, you can buy. Phasers, communicators, tribbles, anything that's in Star Trek, you can buy it online. Clothes,
Yeah.
uniforms, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, if we have no more questions, let's do some slides, right? Vova, could you please start with this one?
Yes. The salesman tried to
Bargain or negotiate?
yes, try to sell something to another
Salesman,
salesman.
probably, yeah. What about the face expression? So as a
Salesman is happy, but other is not serious.
I would say that this one who try to sell, I would say he's enthusiastic, right? So he's showing enthusiasm. I will give this for $2, for 2 credits, something like this. And another one, he's pretend to be uninterested, right? So I don't need this, So I will not pay more for this.
It's a tactic, right?
Tactic, yeah.
Yeah. So the bartender bought one product from this guy that turned out to be useless. Nobody would buy it. So then he bought this product before, and he used that to clean these other useless products. So when he said, "You want to buy this?" he says, "I've got some. I use that to clean your other useless junk." So this bartender knows this guy sells him junk.
And probably it's a reflection of some American reality, right? So some people who sell useless things door to door, right? You still have it, or it's obsolete?
Oh no, we still have people everywhere. People are always trying to sell you useless stuff. Men's products to make you perform better in bed everywhere. You can buy all kind. It doesn't work, but you can buy all kind of junk everywhere.
But they kind of door-to-door salesmen. They went for your house in the morning and knock.
In the old days, yes, we don't allow that anymore.
Okay, good,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
I'm asking because I was so surprised that at this Saturday I got two salesmen, knocked in my door in the morning, and I have never seen this before. So it was a kind of new thing for me. And they tried to sell something, some books, but it was in German. I understand nothing. So
Yeah. If you've ever seen a picture of a sign that says "No soliciting," that's what that means. That means don't come to my door and try to sell me anything.
Wow.
So
I must do that in the morning, Teacher Lee.
People hate that. People hate soliciting. Yeah.
Yeah, I understand why.
But in the old days, we didn't have internet. We had no advertising. There wasn't much TV. A lot of people didn't have TVs. Door to door was the only way you could sell something or advertise it. So in the old days, it was acceptable.
And this guy who is selling, we call him Commis Voyager, right? Commis Voyager is the guy who is traveling between houses or not? Cool. It's French.
We just call them door-to-door salesman.
Okay, I see. Okay.
Or traveling salesman.
Traveling salesman. Okay, good. Anything else on this picture? Well, what about these suits? What do you think? Is it fancy enough?
Look like armies.
Yes, the right. It's kind of has a pattern like khaki or something, so it looks like a military, right? On the right. And this pocket on his chest, it looks pretty useless and strange. And I don't know what
It is
else.
really baggy. So it has got a lot of pockets.
Yeah.
To carry junk to advertise. Oh, I can
Yeah.
say, oh, how about one of these? Oh, you need one of these, you know.
Well, about this door-to-door selling and advertising, I remember that in Russia it was kind of a sad story actually, because it was kind of a sect, so people involve other people to sell something, and it was kind of a religion, so they pay to each other to higher hierarchy, they kind of got involved to some rituals, and it was a sad story actually.
Oh, weird.
Weird, yeah, really. Okay, let's find another one. Leila, what about this one? What could we find here?
I'm trying to remember. Kurt,
It's Scotty, yes, on the right.
Scott, right? I like this guy. And Scott, I think he was punished and he was playing, teacher, you help me, playing chess in the Spartan room on his own using the computer, right?
Yeah, he was put under house arrest. He was grounded. He had to stay in his room.
Yeah.
And he was happy because then he had time to just study engineering stuff. And he loved it. No duty, but just stay in your room and just do whatever you want. So he studied and read engineering manuals. Wow. So his punishment was a reward to him.
But Kirk's face is full of, just, how can I say? He is about to smile, laugh.
Amused, yeah. Amused. Yeah, Scotty was enjoying his punishment.
Yes.
Yeah, and this thing, 3D chess, it exists, but nobody actually played, because it's not that popular, and the reason why it's not popular because it's too hard, so it's almost impossible to play. So you have to spend years to
Win.
be a beginner in this game, and nobody wants to put
win.
such effort. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, Vasant, what about this one? What could we find here?
Yes, where they are all pampering, nurturing the fuzzy thing, and it got populated. I'd say that it produced offspring so quickly.
Mm-hmm. So I use the word breed. So I say they breed very fast. I don't know if it's correct.
Yep. Yeah, breed fast. We say in America, rabbits breed very fast. So we say they multiply like rabbits.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Means they breed very quickly.
And it's a good idea to understand, exponential functions, right? So if you have two times more every generation, it sounds like harmless, but in fact, it's a very steep function. It's the graph is very steep. So for instance, Leila, do you know there is a kind of old fairy tale, for some scientist and a king, and scientist did something good to the king and said, okay, you can pay me with a grain. Just put one grain on a chessboard, then two on another, and it seems, harmless. But in fact, the chessboard has 64 cells. So two in 64, it's more than grain in the universe. So you cannot pay this.
Yeah, it's kind of a joke. One guy says, I can pay you $100,000 a month, or I can give you a penny on day 1, 2 pennies on day 2, 4 pennies on day 3, 8 pennies on day 4. Which would you rather have? So the guy said, well, I'd rather have $100,000. I ain't going to work for a penny or 2 pennies or 4 pennies. That's crazy. But if you take 2 to the 30th power, on the last day of the month, you're getting like $15 million on the 31st.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's like an unbelievable rate of increase, just doubling every day. When you double 30 times, it's a huge number.
You
But
know,
of course, he accepted the first alternative, right?
Yeah. So
Because we are greedy.
yeah, the first week you're almost working for free, but after that it gets quite expensive. Yeah.
and we call this exponential functions. You know, funny enough, in our conversations, but exponential functions, they arise when you think about the very famous problem, which called problem of door-to-door salesman. And the problem is like this. So you have 100 houses on the map, and you have to visit everyone exactly once. So find the best way between these houses, between all these addresses. And when you try to solve this problem, there are a problem that there are a lot of kind of different roads. It's kind of exponential functions. So you cannot just brute force it. You cannot just find all the roads and then compare them. You need some kind of heuristic. You need some kind of algorithm that's better than just brute force. Interesting.
Mhm.
I would say the number of efficient routes is probably relatively small, but the number of possible routes in
Yeah.
different sequences could be huge. Yeah.
Yeah. But when you do a program for computer, you cannot define what is efficient, what is not. So you have to find all of them, and that's a problem even for modern computer. If you will brute force the problem, you will not success. Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah. I think that would be 100 factorial. 1 times
yes.
2 times 3 times 4 times 5 times 6 times 99 times 100. A very large number.
Yeah, like this.
Yeah.
Okay. Gerard, can we find something here?
Here is Captain Keir. How do you call this guy? Scott?
No, that's McCoy.
McCoy, yeah, the doctor and the scientist.
Right.
Yes, he's asking how to investigate how these tribbles reproduce, and everything about their life. Which sort of animal are they dealing with? And one thing I like to talk about interesting about the episode is about Chekhov. He was all the time claiming that everything was invented in Russia. Like, the tricycle, this wheat was from Canada, and he's like, it was invented in Russia, even the Scottish whiskey.
And I remember once we discussed this with teacher Lee in the chat, and actually it's a correct stereotype. So really, people in Russia, they like to pretend that they invented like everything. So it's true. So sometimes they find, some kind of sources, someone invented something, but they will find something similar in the past of Russia and will pretend that it was, the real invention. And we know about this. We joke about ourselves. We joke like, we joke that Russia is the motherland of all the elephants. And it does mean that exactly this sense that we invented everything. But we understand it's just irony.
So this is back in 1960 when we had this stereotype in the American mindset about the Russians. Yeah.
Yeah, it's still here.
Something you might find cute. Do you remember a musical singing group called the Monkees?
Not really.
The Monkees were a singing group, kind of like the Beatles. The Beatles and the Monkees. The Monkees were a singing group, and their haircut was like checkoffs. It was like a bowl over the head, and they just cut the hair. So the hair was kind of bowl shaped. And they were very popular with young girls back then. Hey, hey, we're the monkeys, and we just monkey around. We're too busy singing to put anybody down. And they were a very popular musical singing group. So they put Chekhov on the Star Trek series to look like one of the monkeys to attract the young girls.
Wow.
Okay. So it's kind of marketing, right? So they knew how to, what's the word for this? To strike all the audience, right? Different layers.
Yeah. So Uhura attracted the black people. A Russian guy looked like a monk, one of the monkeys. Japanese guy got the Asians. Yeah, that was, but they did it willingly. Nobody forced them to be diverse. This was really the first TV show that actually incorporated diversity as part of the normal crew. You got a Russian, a Scottish person, a Japanese person, an African person, an alien person.
Yeah.
You got women women crew members. This was actually what the liberals want today, but back then it wasn't forced. It was willing. It was voluntary. Today they try to force this, and you get people that don't know what they're doing. But you got a black, you got an Asian, you got a gay, you got a lesbian, you got a transgender. Oh, come on, it gets crazy after a while.
Yeah. The problem is they do that is in a natural way, not natural like Star Trek.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But did you notice something? Always in every episode, you can watch Uhura sitting sideways, showing her legs, and crossing her legs, not to show her pants. So I think this mini skirt was something modern at this time, but not practical, because she always need to be aware that that she needs to cross her legs, so not to show her pants.
Yeah. Back in the 1960s, it was a man's world, and men liked to look at pretty women, and it was okay to show pretty women back then. It wasn't a sin. Today you can't do that. Now today you got to show fat women. But back then, it was okay to show sexy women. Now, Star Trek was still pretty family friendly. They never showed any they never showed low cleavage. That was against social norms back then. But what you could show was the back. So a lot of women in the Star Trek episodes, you won't see much in the front, but you'll see their whole back is uncovered. That was okay to do on TV. So a lot of the uniforms show, women dressed up in like royalty, queens and princesses. They all have their backs naked. And that was okay. So that was how they kind of did sexy back then.
But I have an answer why we allow it to show fat and ugly women today in every show. So Holly told me that it's better for me because it's lower my expectation. And all the women for me are beautiful, and opposite is wrong.
Yeah, strive to be fat and beautiful. Yeah. Nah, I'm sorry, it doesn't work. I'm overweight, and overweight is still not good. Okay.
Okay, but speaking about this room, so it looks like a lab, right? So for medic, because we have some kind of crocodile on the one way, and the skull on the right, it looks as alien skull, right? Not a human one.
Yeah, strange decorations.
Yeah, probably they saved some money, right, for this laboratory.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if this is it doesn't look like the medical lab. It looks more like McCoy's room, McCoy's own room, maybe, but
yep, could be.
But there's not much in it, right? You got a table, a desk, that's it. The walls are almost empty. Very boring decor because it costs money,
Yeah. Okay, there we see that Klingons don't like tribbles, right? And that there are a lot of tribbles. Okay, this scene is insult, right? Insult. How it
Yeah,
was.
insult.
So insult was made to the enterprise.
Insults. Yep. Insults.
Insults.
Yep.
Yeah.
Insults. Yep.
Okay. Well, would you like to describe this picture, please?
They
So
are
what are they drinking?
bar.
What do you think?
They're at the bar, and these guys, Klingons, I mean, they were drunk, especially the one standing. He's really drunk, and bartender. I can see the bartender. I can see the salesman, and the Enterprise crew. Just they were sitting, trying to enjoy themselves, but this Clinton man started insulting at these people. Scott was trying to, just make the atmosphere soften, but at last he kicked him.
Well, why Klingons and Enterprise crew are together on one ship?
It was a kind of agreement. I think Kirk decided that 7 people could go. Teacher Lee, what did you write? I just missed it. I'm gonna look.
Oh, I'm about to write neutral territory.
Shore leave. I was going to look at that.
Yeah,
So,
shore leave.
Every time, once 7 people could go to the shore leave. So these are the people who are on shore leave.
Yeah. So it's a space station and it has a bar. And even though the
Yes.
Klingons and the humans are kind of enemies on the space station, it's neutral territory. So both can come there to let their crews relax.
Yeah, but as soon as the guy started insulting at them, everybody from Enterprise started to feel tense, and the atmosphere is so simple. Again, I can say, I think simplicity is their preference.
And Scotty was the engineer. Scotty's the number 3 man. You've got Kirk and Spock and Scotty. So Scotty's a very senior officer. And he didn't want to go on shore leave. He wanted to stay on the Enterprise and just hug his equipment, hug his engineering equipment. And Kirk said, "You will go on shore leave." Okay. So he went on shore leave and then he ended up making trouble. He was supposed to prevent trouble, but he ended up making the trouble. So a little irony there.
I love his saying "I" instead of "okay." He says "I."
Aye, Captain. Yep. Aye.
And actually, it suits my kind of life experience, So we experience from senior people to be more kind of reasonable and everything. But in my experience, they more kind of used to be uncontrolled because they already control people, and when they face something, they tend to, to react strongly. so I find this logical.
Yeah.
Okay, well, what is happening here on this slide, please?
Kirk just sat on tribble.
Yeah, did he kill him?
No, I think.
No. Okay.
We have a prank, a joke, a prank you can buy in a prank store. It's called a whoopee cushion, a whoopee cushion. And it's just a rubber bag. And when you sit on it, it goes.
Yes, I know.
So people do that sometimes over here. They'll put a whoopee cushion on your chair and you'll sit down at a meeting and it'll go.
I know.
And everybody starts laughing. So that's kind of what this reminded me of.
What else? Whoa, on this slide? We can see some monitors, right? Control device. What else?
Tribbles.
Tribbles are everywhere, right? Is Kirk happy about the tribbles?
No.
Okay. What about this one? What is happening on?
The Yeah, the compartment was stuck. The employee could not open it, so Kirk went to open that cupboard or something, the storage bin. After when he opened it, there are countless pieces fell down onto him.
Actually,
Yeah.
mhm. Actually,
He
I don't.
almost merged in it.
Mhm.
Actually, I don't remember the moment when we understand that the grain was poisoned. Do you remember how we found it?
Yeah. Because some of the tribbles were not alive anymore.
That's right. When they piled up to Kirk's neck, somebody picked up one and said, "It's dead. It's
Right.
dead, Jim. It's dead, Jim." Why? The grain must have been poisoned.
Yeah.
Yeah. Serendipity. Yeah, serendipity.
Yeah, but they're lucky again, right? So Enterprise not only is kind of powerful and has a good crew, but they also lucky in every episode, right? Okay, I guess that's all for today. So
Yeah.
So we did it fast, right? But the episode was short and not
Short.
like eventful, right? So,
Yeah.
It's
okay.
good to hear your voices. I
Yeah.
could sleep now because I felt relaxed.
Yeah.